possibly to have that as a place where federal troops are. Do you have any sense even of the scope of the ICE operation that they're planning?
Not from ICE. We're getting, again, it's all secondhand, thirdhand. There are a lot of patriotic Americans who work in the administration or work at the departments or in the military who have let us know things without, having permission to do so. And so I would call some of that rumor, but, well-sourced rumors.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, what a weird time we live in. As you heard in the opening from J.B. Pritzker, apparently there must be, allegedly, from what he says, patriotic Americans within the military and elsewhere that are feeding him, allegedly, information about where ICE is and so forth and so on. If that's true, that is a major, major, major issue. So let's listen one more time to what he just said. But first, a word from our sponsor. What If News is brought to you by My Patriot Supply. We're only a few weeks into winter, and already brutal cold, huge snowstorms, and of course, power outages. Think about this. If the power goes out when it's really cold, do you have a way to keep yourself and your family warm? This is a real problem. Winter power outages can even be life-threatening, just like it was in Texas a few years ago. That's why so many Americans are getting a Vesta off-grid heater from My Patriot Supply. It's a space heater that doesn't use electricity or propane. It runs on something called canned heat, which is an indoor safe fuel. With a Vesta stashed in your closet, you know you can keep warm no matter what. It even doubles as a stove to cook your food, which is pretty cool. The best part is, right now, you can get a Vesta and a bunch more preparedness gear as free gifts when you order the Winter Survival Kit from My Patriot Supply. Just go to preparewithwhatifnews.com and check out what they have to offer. This offer won't last long, so go to preparewithwhatifnews.com and get yours today.
Possibly to have that as a place where federal troops are. Do you have any sense even of the scope of the ICE operation that they're planning?
Not from ICE. We're getting, again, it's all secondhand, thirdhand. There are a lot of patriotic Americans who work in the administration or work at the departments or in the military who have let us know things without, having permission to do so. And so I would call some of that rumor, but, well-sourced rumors.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard there is J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois, one of the worst ones. I mean, just really one of the worst ones. Also, he just recently signed an executive order, a law, whatever you want to call it, that gives felons their rights back and so forth and so on, which, sometimes people get caught up in the wrong situation and that winds up, denting their persona, what they might be able to do collecting on a job or whatever the case might be. I get it, like I said in previous videos, I fully support people that get, a second chance and so forth and so on, sometimes third. But the problem is with such things like that, it opens the doors to allow people that shouldn't get those rights back, get them back. It says that, you're not going to, people that aggravated robbery, sexual assault, domestic abuse, so forth and so on. Those types of people won't get, their rights back. But at the same time, it just makes you think, well, they say that, but is that really true? I mean, how many people could slip through the cracks and accidentally get their rights back and then go and commit the same shit that they wound up committing to begin with? Just saying. I mean, with the world of fraud going on throughout the United States and the world, anything is possible. But man, let me tell you, if it is true that people are feeding him information of where things are going, from the military, et cetera, that would be a really bad situation, which means to me that maybe some of the DEI military people that have been put into action, into positions of power, whatever it might be, maybe there's still quite a few of those left, or some. I can't say quite a few, some left, which that's a national security situation and issue that should really be handled wholeheartedly, taken care of. Wouldn't you agree?
Been described as managing the president's Gaza plan. Meanwhile, Ambassador Barrack is leading on Syria policy, while Special Envoy Boulos is appearing to lead on our Africa policy. So I have to ask you, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you, are you the lead for U.S. government on foreign policy?
No. The lead on U.S. foreign policy is named Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. On the individuals you've described, these are very valuable teams. We have an excellent, if I can answer, because I think it's important. It's a legitimate question. I have the distinction, but I think both the benefit of being the National Security Advisor and the Secretary of State. As National Security Advisor, my job is to coordinate the interagency function of national security, and that involves foreign policy. So I speak to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner in the case of Gaza and now Russia, probably 10 times a day. We have multiple meetings and coordination. All of it is we build a team, we gather facts, we present options, and then we take them to the president.
I like Marco Rubio. He's a very good Secretary of State, National Security Advisor, and Jackie Rosen from Nevada. I don't understand why these people seem so arrogant. I mean, they ask dumb questions. No, President Trump is the head. He's the one very up top. He's the one that does what presidents do. But they try to pin it on other people that, maybe you're the one making decisions, or maybe somebody else is making decisions. I mean, to tell you what, these people come up with the most asinine things to try to spin whatever it is that they're trying to spin. And it's really, really, really shameful. I mean, good grief. This next clip is probably one of the best ones out of the hearing from this morning. And man, oh man, it just makes you scratch your head and be like, what did I really just hear? So here you go.
The president already said that he was ready to put American troops in Venezuela again. So we're at war right now. So if things don't go well with the Chavistas you've empowered,
when did the president say he was going to put troops in Venezuela?
A military option, what is your criteria for returning to a military option and putting boots on?
Well, I don't recall the president saying he was going to put troops in Venezuela. Where did he say that?
I'm asking you, what are your...
But that's what you said. I didn't remember the president
has already said that he was ready to put American troops in Venezuela.
No, I think the president has said that he retains the right as commander-in-chief to protect the United States against any imminent threats. Maybe that involves troops, maybe that involves air power. We hope, but we don't anticipate that being the case in Venezuela.
I worry that you are playing fast and loose with our nation's
Well, I just gave you testimony here.
I just want to conclude by saying...
Yeah, but I just gave you testimony of how well things are moving forward, not as fast as everybody would like.
Yeah, but you also said that in 6 or 9 months, if things don't go well, you're going to have to do something else. And the president's already said that he's not ruled out the military option. And you've also just said that, yes, we are at war. The president has wartime powers.
But every president retains the power to use military to protect.
So it's reasonable for me to ask you...
And I gave you a very specific example. Every president retains the right to defend the United States against an imminent threat.
I just don't understand why people, I don't even know who this lady is. I don't understand. And you look back at Eric Swalwell, you look at Dick Durbin, you look at Adam Schiff, and that's just to name a few. People get in front of the camera that are in Congress and Senate, and they're able to lie to the American people without any repercussions at all. I don't understand how that even works. Because if you or I went to Congress and we testified, and one single thing might not be correct, you could wind up with perjury charges. Well, why are these people able to spit lies all the time to we the American people, and for all retrospect, people from around the world. I mean, it's not just us that are, watching this. You can watch all this stuff on the internet, obviously. So, I mean, why is it from term limits that should be implemented so we don't have, people in Congress and Senate for 50 years? Something else that they should put out is the simple fact, instead of censoring people, maybe there should be some sort of mechanism that these people are held accountable for the things that they say that are nowhere even close to being true. And then when they get called out on it, they, lo and behold, still try to spin it however they want it to be spun. I don't get it. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me, because normal people like you and I would be in trouble for lying just like that. I mean, it happens all the time. I mean, you used to see Adam Schiff on a daily basis get in front of cameras, get on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, whatever news source that they wanted to put him on, telling, oh, there's Russian collusion in plain sight, was one of the most ridiculous things that he ever said. And lo and behold, the Russian interference or Russian collusion was with the Democrats. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and John Brennan and all the, Comey and all these, they were all implemented in all that. When are they going to be held accountable? Plain and simple. It's a really simple question. I would love to know the answer to it.
So you probably saw some Democrats, including the new mayor of New York, Zoran Mamdani, literally declare that what Trump did on Saturday morning was illegal. What do you think of that?
Again, if people don't live through it, they won't know how desperate us Venezuelans are for a change. I know they're talking about Trump only wanting the oil, but everybody's there for the oil. Russia, Iran, everybody's there for the oil already, China. So if Trump needs the oil to give us freedom, then that's a price we're willing to pay just so that we have our freedom and make a change. In 26 years, nobody has done anything for our country except for Trump. So if that's a price that he's the only one that has made an action on it, and he's the only one that has delivered his promise. So if that's the price we need to pay for it, then that's okay. Venezuela has a lot of other resources. It's not just oil. We have minerals. We have so many other things that once our country is better, then we, as Maria Corina always say, we will be an amazing country. We just need that change and somebody to help us for it.
So as you can see and hear, that's from a Venezuelan. It's somebody that has ties to Venezuela, okay? Obviously, that was recorded in Florida. If you didn't notice, the car in the background out of Florida license plate, but there's a lot of Venezuelan people in Florida that know exactly how things have gone in Venezuela. Like you just got done hearing, 26 years. People have promised to do stuff to help them, and they've never done anything. Not one single administration. They've done, put a bounty out, do this, do that, but nobody has ever done action. Actions speak louder than words every single time. But yet, Trump is the a-hole for doing it, according to the Democrats. Just like, I've said it a lot. Venezuela is not about oil. It's a small fragment of what it's about, but what it's really about is the machines. Smartmatic and Dominion machines. If you don't know, you should really do some research.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis. It will require us to pursue every single avenue. That means looking inward into savings and efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. And it means recalibrating the relationship with the state.
Okay, big problem here. Okay, when it comes down to Madami, all right, elections have consequences. Just look what's happening in Virginia, right? Really bad situations with the stupid executive orders that Abigail Spamberger, whatever, signed. Really bad. Okay. You just heard Madami say that the rich people are going to pay more tax. Corporations are going to pay more tax. Well, the problem is that when that happens, the rich people and the corporations leave because they're not going to pay more tax. And if they do stay, they're going to pass the tax down to you. And if they do leave, then who's going to pay it? Who's going to pay the tax that Madami is going to raise? Who's going to pay it? If nobody's there to pay it, who's going to pay it? The poor people. It's really common sense and simple.
Do you guys go to the school over here?
Yeah.
Did you participate in the little protest and walk around?
Yeah.
I had a couple. Would you mind answering a couple questions?
Sure.
I just do an investigative journalism.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I seen everybody doing the protest. Looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Did the school, they said they had an assembly or something beforehand? Or?
No, they
Oh, no.
didn't have an assembly as far as I was aware. They
Oh,
sent
just
out,
a word to gather.
They sent out like an announcement, I think, that nobody would be like,
Get in trouble.
yeah.
But so it was okay to go
Yeah,
ahead
and
and
I
do
think
that.
a couple teachers went along to like supervise or
Oh,
something.
yeah, just to make sure everything went
which
good.
was sweet, yeah.
Cool.
They brought like little hand warmers and stuff and warmed
Yeah,
us
yeah, I
and-
seen that.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. And so you guys did the march and stuff. And,
Yeah.
Yep, it looked really good. So
Yeah,
I appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah,
You guys
of
have a great day.
You too.
This is the second video that I have seen of schools, middle school, high school, whatever, okay, doing protests about ICE. Here's the problem with that, is where they're learning it from. They're teachers. So they're literally indoctrinations of kids to teach them the wrong thing. I mean, we should have seen this coming a long time ago when schools actually stopped teaching the history of our country. And when they did teach the history of our country, they twist and turned it. Little bit of fact, a lot of other stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with it. They want to try to teach the kids to hate our country. Thank God my son had good parents like myself, my wife, my dad, and everybody that was involved in his life when he was younger to show him that America is a great country. It might have its issues, but the issues are caused by people that steal our money and send our money as well over to other countries that shouldn't receive it at all. It's our money. And it's funny because of the simple fact that people in power do exactly that. They use our money to benefit themselves and their lobbyists. My opinion. But hey, I bet you there's more fraud. Much, much more fraud.
First being fraud by design. This wasn't an accident. This didn't just happen. It's a system that's designed by the left for people in their social circles. It starts all the way at the top of the federal government with the Obama administration, promulgated even more by the Biden administration. It runs down to the states, to governors across the country, including Governors Walz and Governor Mills. And even at the local level, you see the bad actors, you read the headlines, you see what's happening right here in Maine, certainly in Minnesota, and I would agree with what's been said so far that this is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. The other F is financial Armageddon. That's what we're heading for. If you don't think that the Trump administration is serious about getting a handle on this, you're probably on another planet. This is going to have implications for the state of Maine in the billions with a B of dollars. This will spell financial Armageddon for our state. We have got to get a handle on this problem.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you're hearing another person talking about fraud, laying out how it has happened, how it's came about, who's involved, technically speaking. And this is from Maine. So we know California, we know Oregon. We know Minneapolis, Minnesota, Illinois, Ohio, New York, Georgia. Much more to come on that. Boy, oh boy, there's, if you don't know, there's been a big development in the election integrity aspect of things today. Man, it's just a shitty situation because I can't say that we've allowed it to happen, because when there's rigging going on and people wind up in power for decades, it just kind of makes you, I wonder, how's that work out? It's crazy, isn't it? Let's continue.
Concrete evidence.
You got to be careful. That's way
there was
offside.
some supports. There
These are men and women serving the
actually,
government.
we have seen white supremacist tattoos.
Risking their lives, serving the government.
Risking their
and you're
lives,
calling
they're taking lives,
You're calling
Kevin.
them Proud Boy militia. Did you say that?
Well,
I did not call them Proud Boy militia, but I think it's disgraceful that you're sitting here. I'm actually not. But I think that there are white supremacist tattoos on their
white supremacist federal officers.
Yeah, white supremacist federal officers.
Like, where are you going with this? Why would you say that?
I'm going with my eyes, ears, and logic. There have been multiple ICE agents who have white supremacist
men and women
tattoos
working for the federal government, risking their lives,
and
carrying out a mandate, and they're white supremacists?
Yes, and you're a member of a cult, so I don't expect you to have logic.
Whoa.
I think the generalizations here are a bit of an overreach.
Yeah, and let's not make personal attacks.
I hope Kevin O'Leary sues that lady that just said to him that he's part of a cult. Okay, first off, you stupid person. I have not seen one single ICE person at all that she says has tattoos on their neck, right? I've seen a lot of people on the left that are part of, the Signal group and all that stuff that have tattoos on their neck and so forth and so on. But not once have I ever seen an ICE agent. And you don't want to know why? Because every single time you see an ICE agent, they have face coverings so people don't know who they are. So how is she? I mean, maybe she's Superwoman and is able to, X-ray through the mask that they're wearing and see these tattoos that are on their neck and so forth and so on. I hope Kevin O'Leary sues the crap out of that lady for what she just said, because guess what? That's defamation. You literally just said it on live TV that he's part of a cult. I hope he makes an example out of that person, just like I hope Trump makes an example out of the guy that said that, oh, he's part of a pedophile ring. Well, no, he's not. Good grief. Next.
What about if you're not left or right? You're just a taxpayer like me, a lowly taxpayer, and I'd like to investigate fraud. I want my money back if it was stolen from me. Is that okay or is that not okay?
Listen,
I want my money back.
Well, hold on. I mean, look, Kevin, the fraud is being has been investigated, is
Why are we
being
talking about
investigated.
that?
People are being prosecuted. The DOJ could be talking about that, but what they decided to do instead was send immigration officials into Minnesota, presumptively because they thought that the fraud was coming only from foreigners, when most of the Somalis who they were targeting.
I don't care where it's coming from. I want my money back.
So,
right, but what she is saying is that nothing they are doing, nothing they have done
to do with
is helping you get your money back.
I represent taxpayers, and I want my money back.
Then if you represent taxpayers, then tell the president that you should.
Let me just circle back.
That he's spending a ton of money to terrorize.
Let me circle back with Jim on this one.
Right? They don't necessarily talk about it. And Kevin is right to call it out. Why aren't they talking about the fraud that's going on instead of making it all about ICE is not supposed to be there? ICE shouldn't do this. ICE shouldn't do that. Well, ICE is there to get people that are not supposed to be in our country, that are violent criminals, such as armed robbery, murders, sexual exploitation of underage people, among probably people that are of age, but these are people that shouldn't be here. Like I said yesterday, people that are getting removed from our country would be the very first people that would hurt you or your family member or members, because I assume you probably have more than one. But just saying, I don't understand why it's so hard for people to understand. Oh, wait, that's right, because this is how they try to protect their fraud.
Well, most of the people who have been deported or have left the country have done so voluntarily, and many of them have gotten a check, just the way he is describing. I think a little over 2 million have self-deported, and only 600 and something thousand have gone out.
Okay, so then why do we need these people on the street doing what they're doing in Minneapolis?
Because they can't get them in the jails. In virtually every other place in America, you have cooperation. You go into the jail, you get an administrative transfer. It takes virtually no people to do that. In Minneapolis, they won't let them in the jails. And they won't let the local police engage if they're under attack as federal law enforcement. So you have to send extra agents to guard the agents that you
like
send.
that.
I'm sorry?
You think that because there's a policy like that in the jail in Minneapolis, that the agents that did what they did to Alex Peretti were justified? That's the connection that you're making?
I did not say that. But I'm telling you that there should be a full investigation, which is exactly what the president said.
Cooperation happens in all kinds of states here in the United States to help get these people out. And like I said yesterday or the day before, the reason that there's so much unrest in Minnesota is because of Nick Shirley exposing the 109 several billion. I don't know exactly what, I think 109 billion. I think that's right. I might be wrong, but it's somewhere around there of fraud. And none of this actually really happened until after that video came out showing the fraud. And then all kinds of crap happened. It sucks, but it's the reality of the situation. And then you got this.
Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue.
No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked. No.
We will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it.
You need to go get checked. No, I don't know what.
Okay, first off, this should never happen to anybody, anywhere. Okay, first off, it's not a good situation. But the flip side to that is that there's a lot of video out that literally shows Ilhan Omar, which is part of the whole gigantic Somali fraud ring in the United States. I don't think it's necessarily just in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I believe there's multiple, because we know it's happening in Columbus, Ohio. We know that for a fact. If it's happening in other places, it's just like organized crime. It just never stops until it is exposed and dealt with and handled. And there's a lot of reports that what happened to Ilhan Omar yesterday at a town hall meeting in Minneapolis, where lo and behold, every freaking news crew in the world apparently was there for a little itty-bitty, teeny-weeny town hall. A lot of people are saying that staged. I've seen the video, and man, oh man, does it actually look like it, because right before it happens, you see her look at him, give him a little bit of a nod, and then he gets up and does this, and then the security guard comes from his back and bear hugs him, whatever. It's just odd, because how do you deflect? You try to make yourself look like a victim. And here is the video that shows what I'm just talking about. Don't pay attention to the middle picture, because I'm not really sure what that is. Probably AI on that, but the rest of it is real.
and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
To me, it looks like it is completely staged. 100%. I mean, 100%. It's a weird time that we live in, ladies and gentlemen, but that's the world we live in. Until people are held accountable, very little trust is within the institutions that are supposed to be protecting you and I and we, the American people. Until next time, I appreciate you guys being here so much. And I hope that you guys like, subscribe, share this video. It helps tremendously. God bless you each and all.